Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you with a message that I believe has the power to change lives. A message that is not just about motivation, but about transformation. We all go through moments of fear, self-doubt, and hopelessness. We feel weak, vulnerable, and incapable of moving forward. But let me tell you one thing, these weak feelings do not define us. They are just a part of the journey, and we have the power to kill them before they kill our dreams. Let's take a moment to understand what are weak feelings. They are the voices inside us that whisper, "You are not good enough." They are the fears that make us believe we will fail even before we try. They are the doubts that tell us we are not capable of achieving greatness. And do you know what is the biggest tragedy? We start believing them. But here's the truth. Your mind is the battlefield where you win or lose. If you allow weak feelings to control you, they will chain you down. But if you decide to fight them, nothing can stop you from becoming the best version of yourself. Weak feelings are those silent, creeping thoughts that tell us we are not enough. They are the invisible chains that keep us stuck in our comfort zones, afraid to take risks, afraid to fail, and sometimes even afraid to succeed. These feelings often stem from fear, self-doubt, insecurity, past failures, or the negative voices we have heard throughout our lives. They whisper to us in moments of difficulty, making us feel like we are incapable, powerless, or unworthy of achieving our goals. They make us believe that we are not strong enough to face challenges, that we are not talented enough to pursue our dreams, and that we are not worthy enough to receive love, success, or happiness. Most of the time, these weak feelings do not arise out of nowhere. They are deeply rooted in our experiences and the way we have been conditioned to think. Maybe we were once told that we were not good enough, and we started believing it. Maybe we failed at something, and instead of trying again, we convinced ourselves that failure was our destiny. Maybe we compared ourselves to others so much that we started feeling inadequate. Or perhaps we experienced heartbreak, betrayal, or rejection, and now we live with the fear of experiencing it again. One of the biggest problems with weak feelings is that they grow stronger the more we entertain them. The more we allow fear to dictate our decisions, the stronger our insecurities become. The more we let self-doubt control our actions, the more we hesitate to take chances. The more we believe we are not capable, the more we stop trying. And before we know it, these feelings start shaping our reality. We stop pushing ourselves. We stop taking risks. We settle for less than what we deserve. And we start living a life far below our potential. But let me tell you something, these weak feelings are not the truth. They are merely illusions created by our own minds. They are not facts. They are just perceptions, and perceptions can be changed. The moment we understand that weak feelings do not define us, we start taking back our power. Imagine a child who is learning to walk. When they fall, do they stop trying? No, they get up again. They may fall 10 times, 20 times, even 100 times, but they do not stop until they learn to walk. Now, imagine if that child had weak feelings. Imagine if they fell once and thought, maybe I'm not meant to walk. Imagine if they convinced themselves that standing up was too difficult and gave up. If that happened, they would never learn to walk. But the reason they succeed is because they do not allow weak feelings to overpower their natural drive. They believe without question that they can do it. And that belief is what leads them to success. So the question is, if we were born with this natural resilience, why do we lose it as we grow older? Why do we allow weak feelings to dictate our lives? The answer is simple, because we start giving importance to the opinions of others, to the fear of failure, to the pressure of expectations, and to the pain of past experiences. We start seeing obstacles as stop signs instead of challenges to overcome. We start letting fear win. To overcome weak feelings, we must first recognize that they are a choice. Yes, you heard me right, a choice. We can either choose to believe in them or choose to reject them. We can either choose to let them control us or choose to take control of them. We can either let them hold us back or use them as stepping stones to move forward. It all comes down to what we choose to believe about ourselves. One of the best ways to eliminate weak feelings is by replacing them with strong, empowering thoughts. Every time a weak feeling creeps into your mind, challenge it. If your mind says you are not good enough, respond by saying, I am more than enough. If your mind says you will fail, say, even if I fail, I will learn and grow. If your mind says you are too weak to handle this, remind yourself of all the times you have survived hardships and come out stronger. Your mind listens to what you tell it, so tell it something powerful. Another important thing to remember is that weak feelings lose their power the moment we take action. Often we allow our fears and insecurities to paralyze us, keeping us stuck in inaction. We keep waiting for the right time to do something, but the truth is, there is no right time, there is only now. Action is the antidote to weak feelings. The moment you take a step forward, even if it is a small step, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. And once you start moving, momentum takes over. What once seemed impossible starts to feel achievable. Think about all the great achievers in history. Do you think they never had weak feelings? Of course they did. But the difference between them and those who gave up is that they refused to let those feelings control them. They pushed forward despite their fears. They failed, but they tried again. They faced rejection, but they did not stop. They understood that weak feelings are temporary, but giving up lasts forever. So ask yourself today what weak feelings are holding you back. What thoughts are stopping you from becoming the person you want to be? What fears are keeping you from chasing your dreams? And most importantly, are you willing to let those feelings control you, or are you ready to take control of them? The truth is, you are much stronger than you think. You have survived hardships that you once thought you couldn't. You have overcome struggles that made you believe you were weak. You have endured pain, disappointment, and heartbreak. Here you are, still standing. That is not weakness, that is strength. That is resilience. That is proof that you are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you are not strong enough. The moment you stop believing in your weak feelings, they will lose their power. The moment you decide that fear will no longer control your life, you will start to rise. The moment you choose to fight for your dreams, nothing will be able to stop you. So the next time you hear that voice in your head telling you that you are not good enough, remember this: that voice is lying to you. That voice is not your truth. Your truth is that you are capable, you are strong, you are enough. Kill your weak feelings before they kill your potential. Choose courage over fear. Choose strength over doubt. Choose action over hesitation. And most importantly, choose to believe in yourself. Because once you do, the world will have no choice but to believe in you too. Our mindset is the foundation of everything we do in life. It shapes our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately our destiny. The way we think about ourselves and the world around us determines the kind of life we live. If we see challenges as obstacles, we will always feel stuck. But if we see them as opportunities, we will find a way to grow. If we allow our fears to control us, we will never take risks. But if we choose to face them, we will discover our true strength. The power of mindset is something most people underestimate. Yet it is the single most important factor that separates those who succeed from those who give up. Our thoughts have the ability to shape our reality. What we repeatedly tell ourselves becomes the truth we live by. If we constantly think that we are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough, our actions will reflect those beliefs. We will hesitate, we will hold back, and we will never reach our full potential. But if we change our inner dialogue, if we start telling ourselves that we are strong, capable, and worthy, our actions will start to align with those beliefs. We will take more risks, we will push ourselves beyond our limits, and we will achieve things we never thought possible. The difference between a person who succeeds and a person who fails is not always talent, intelligence, or resources. More often than not, it is simply the way they think. A person with a strong mindset sees failure as a lesson, not as a reason to quit. They understand that setbacks are a part of the journey, not the end of the road. They do not let fear stop them because they know that growth happens outside of their comfort zone. On the other hand, a person with a weak mindset sees failure as proof that they are not good enough. They allow a mistake to define them, and they stop trying. One of the biggest lessons we can learn in life is that our mindset is not fixed. It is something we can change, something we can strengthen with time and effort. Just like we train our bodies to become stronger, we can train our minds to become more resilient. It starts with awareness. We must first recognize the negative thoughts that hold us back. We must pay attention to the way we talk to ourselves, the way we react to challenges, and the way we interpret our failures. Once we become aware of our thought patterns, we can start changing them. Every time we catch ourselves thinking, I can't do this, we must replace it with, I will find a way. Every time we feel fear taking over, we must remind ourselves that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Every time we make a mistake, we must tell ourselves, this is not the end. This is a lesson that will make me stronger. It may not be easy at first, but with consistency, these new thought patterns will become our new reality. The power of mindset is evident in every area of life. In education, students who believe they can improve through hard work perform better than those who believe intelligence is fixed. In business, entrepreneurs who see challenges as learning opportunities go on to build successful companies, while those who give up at the first sign of failure never reach their full potential. In personal relationships, people who believe they are worthy of love and respect attract healthy connections, while those who doubt their worth settle for less than they deserve. The way we think shapes the way we experience life. A strong mindset is especially important when facing adversity. Life is unpredictable, and difficulties are inevitable. There will be times when things do not go as planned, when we face rejection, when we experience loss, when we feel like giving up. In those moments, our mindset will determine how we respond. Will we let the situation break us, or will we use it as an opportunity to grow? Will we dwell on our problems, or will we focus on finding solutions? Will we allow fear to hold us back, or will we push forward with determination? Resilience is not something we are born with, it is something we develop through our mindset. Every time we overcome a challenge, we build mental strength. Every time we refuse to give up, we reinforce our belief in ourselves. Every time we choose to see the silver lining in a difficult situation, we train our minds to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. Over time, this mindset becomes our greatest asset. It gives us the confidence to chase our dreams, the courage to face our fears, and the strength to keep going no matter what. One of the best ways to develop a powerful mindset is to surround ourselves with positive influences. The people we spend time with, the books we read, the content we consume, all of these things shape the way we think. If we surround ourselves with negativity, doubt, and fear, our mindset will reflect that. But if we surround ourselves with inspiration, encouragement, and growth-oriented thinking, our mindset will become stronger. We must be intentional about what we allow into our minds because our thoughts eventually shape our reality. Another important factor in building a strong mindset is gratitude. When we focus on what we lack, we feel powerless. But when we focus on what we have, we feel empowered. Gratitude shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance. It reminds us of our strengths, our blessings, and the progress we have already made. It helps us stay motivated and hopeful, even in difficult times. A grateful mind is a strong mind because it sees possibilities instead of limitations. It is also important to challenge ourselves regularly. Growth happens when we step outside of our comfort zones. When we push ourselves to try new things, take risks, and embrace challenges, we develop confidence in our abilities. Every time we accomplish something we once thought was impossible, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than we believed. This builds momentum, and over time, it transforms our mindset into one of strength, resilience, and determination. We must also learn to let go of perfectionism. Many people hold themselves back because they are afraid of making mistakes. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions before they take action. But perfection does not exist. If we wait for everything to be perfect, we will never move forward. A powerful mindset understands that progress is more important than perfection. It understands that mistakes are a part of growth. It understands that taking action, even when we are unsure, is better than staying stuck in fear. At the core of a strong mindset is self-belief. No matter how talented, intelligent, or capable we are, if we do not believe in ourselves, we will never reach our full potential. Self-belief is not about thinking we are better than others. It is about knowing that we are capable of achieving our goals. It is about trusting ourselves even when others doubt us. It is about standing firm in our vision, even when the journey is difficult. When we believe in ourselves, we become unstoppable. The power of mindset is the power to change our lives. It is the key to overcoming obstacles, achieving our goals, and becoming the best version of ourselves. It is not something we are given, it is something we must develop. And the good news is that anyone can do it. No matter where we are in life, no matter what challenges we have faced, no matter how many times we have failed, we have the ability to change the way we think. And when we change our mindset, we change everything. So the next time you find yourself doubting your abilities, remember this: your thoughts are powerful. Your mindset is your greatest tool. You have the ability to train your mind for success, for resilience, for strength. And once you do, nothing will be able to hold you back. The world belongs to those who believe in their own power And today you have the choice to be one of them. Life is not a straight road. It is filled with twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. At some point, every person faces struggles, some visible, some hidden deep within. These struggles can come in many forms: failure, rejection, loss, disappointment, betrayal, or even self-doubt. The truth is, difficulties are an unavoidable part of life. However, what truly defines a person is not the hardships they face, but how they respond to them. Some people allow struggles to break them, while others use them as stepping stones to rise even higher. The difference between these two mindsets is simple. One sees challenges as barriers, while the other sees them as lessons. When we face difficulties, it is natural to feel frustrated, hopeless, or even defeated. In those moments, it is easy to think, why is this happening to me? Or maybe I am just not meant to succeed. But the reality is that every struggle carries a lesson, a hidden opportunity for growth. Sometimes our failures are not meant to stop us. They are meant to redirect us towards something better. Sometimes rejection is not a sign that we are not good enough, but a sign that we are meant for something greater. And sometimes pain is not a punishment, but a teacher that strengthens us for the journey ahead. History is filled with stories of people who turned their struggles into success. Some of the most inspiring individuals in the world faced unimaginable hardships, yet they refused to give up. They saw their difficulties as lessons, learned from them, and came back even stronger. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. But instead of giving up, he said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Oprah Winfrey faced rejection and personal hardships, but used those struggles to fuel her passion and become one of the most successful media personalities in history. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon. The common thread among all these individuals is that they did not allow struggles to define them. They used their struggles to refine them. The lessons hidden in our struggles are not always easy to see. When we are going through a tough time, it is difficult to imagine that anything good can come from it. But if we take a step back and look at our past, we will notice something interesting. Some of the biggest challenges we faced in life turned out to be the most valuable lessons. Maybe a failure taught us resilience. Maybe heartbreak taught us self-love. Maybe losing something made us appreciate what we still have. Every challenge we face has the potential to shape us into a wiser, stronger, and more capable version of ourselves. One of the most powerful lessons struggles teach us is resilience. Life is unpredictable, and not everything will go according to plan. There will be moments of disappointment, but true strength is found in the ability to keep going despite the setbacks. A person who never faces difficulties will never develop the strength to handle life's challenges. Just like a muscle grows stronger through resistance, our character grows stronger through adversity. Every time we get back up after falling, we prove to ourselves that we are more powerful than we thought. Struggles also teach us the importance of patience. In today's fast-paced world, we are conditioned to want instant results. We want success without failure, growth without discomfort, and happiness without challenges. But real progress takes time. A seed does not become a tree overnight. It must go through seasons of growth, endure storms, and push through before it can stand tall. Similarly, our struggles are part of the process of becoming the person we are meant to be. They teach us that good things take time and that perseverance is the key to success. Another lesson struggles teach us is gratitude. When life is smooth, we often take things for granted. We forget to appreciate the little things, the people who love us, the opportunities we have, and even our own strength. But when we face hardship, we start to see life from a new perspective. We realize the value of what we have, and we become more thankful for the things we once overlooked. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we still have. And that shift in perspective can be life-changing. Struggles also teach us the power of adaptability. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we expect it to. Sometimes our plans fall apart and we are forced to take a different path. In those moments, we have two choices: resist change or embrace it. Those who resist change often find themselves stuck, frustrated, and unhappy. But those who learn to adapt become stronger. They understand that change is not the enemy, it is an opportunity for growth. The most successful people in the world are not those who never face difficulties, but those who learn to adjust, pivot, and keep moving forward no matter what. One of the most valuable lessons we can learn from struggles is self-discovery. It is often in our most difficult moments that we discover who we truly are. When everything is easy, we do not question ourselves. But when we face challenges, we are forced to dig deep to find strength we never knew we had. and to confront parts of ourselves that we may have ignored. Struggles reveal our true character, our deepest fears, and our greatest strengths. They give us clarity about what we truly want in life and what we are willing to fight for. Struggles also teach us the value of persistence. It is easy to stay motivated when everything is going well, but real determination is tested when things become difficult. Most people give up when they face obstacles, but those who succeed are the ones who refuse to quit. They understand that failure is not the end, it is just a step in the process. They keep pushing forward even when progress is slow because they know that every setback is temporary. Persistence is the bridge between struggle and success. One of the most important things we must remember is that struggles are temporary. No matter how difficult a situation may seem, it will not last forever. Pain, disappointment, and failure are all part of life, but they do not define our future. The only thing that can stop us is if we choose to give up. But if we keep going, if we learn from our experiences, and if we use our struggles as fuel for growth, we will come out stronger on the other side. Sometimes our struggles are not just for us, they are meant to inspire others. When we overcome challenges, we become living proof that it is possible to rise above difficulties. Our journey can serve as a source of strength for someone else who is going through a similar struggle. By sharing our lessons, our stories, and our victories, we can give hope to those who feel like giving up. In this way, our struggles have the power to create a ripple effect of inspiration. The greatest lesson struggles teach us is that we are capable of more than we realize. There is a strength inside each of us that can only be discovered when we are pushed to our limits. Struggles may be painful, but they are also powerful. They shape us, teach us, and prepare us for the future. They remind us that we are not defined by our failures, but by how we rise after them. They show us that we are not weak, we are warriors. So the next time you face a struggle, remember this: it is not the end of your story, it is just a chapter. Do not let it break you, let it build you. Do not let it defeat you, let it strengthen you. And most importantly, do not run from it, learn from it. Because the lessons you gain from your struggles will become the foundation of your greatest success. Self-doubt is one of the biggest barriers to personal growth and success. It is the little voice in our minds that tells us we are not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. It is the invisible chain that holds us back from pursuing our dreams, taking risks, and stepping into our true potential. The truth is, everyone experiences self-doubt at some point in their lives. But the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is the ability to overcome it. Self-doubt is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that we are stepping outside of our comfort zone, and that is where growth happens. The key is to learn how to silence that voice, take control of our thoughts, and believe in ourselves even when we feel uncertain. One of the main reasons people struggle with self-doubt is because they compare themselves to others. In the age of social media, it is easier than ever to feel like we are not doing enough, not achieving enough, not being enough. We scroll through endless posts of people showcasing their successes, their perfect moments, their achievements, and we start to wonder if we measure up. But what we often forget is that social media only shows the highlights, not the struggles behind the scenes. Every successful person has faced challenges, failures, and moments of doubt, but they chose to keep going despite them. Instead of comparing our journey to someone else's, we must focus on our own progress. The only person we should compare ourselves to is the person we were yesterday. If we are growing, learning, and improving even a little each day, we are on the right path. Another major cause of self-doubt is fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes. We hesitate to take action because we are afraid of what others will think. We hold ourselves back from trying new things because we do not want to fail. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of success. Every mistake, every setback, every rejection is a lesson that brings us closer to where we are meant to be. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than most people have even tried. They understand that failure is temporary, but giving up is permanent. Instead of seeing failure as a reason to doubt ourselves, we must see it as a stepping stone to growth. One of the most powerful ways to overcome self-doubt is to change the way we talk to ourselves. Our minds believe what we repeatedly tell them. If we constantly tell ourselves that we are not good enough, we will start to believe it. But if we consciously choose to replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations, we can rewire our minds for confidence and success. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am capable and I will figure it out." Instead of saying, "What if I fail?" say, "What if I succeed?" Instead of saying, "I am not ready," say, "I am learning and growing every day." The way we speak to ourselves matters more than we realize. The more we practice positive self-talk, the stronger and more confident we become. Another important step in overcoming self-doubt is to take action despite it. Many people believe they need to feel confident before they take action. But the reality is the opposite. Confidence comes from taking action. The more we step out of our comfort zone, the more we prove to ourselves that we are capable. Every time we push past fear, we build mental strength. Every time we take a risk, we expand our limits. The only way to truly silence self-doubt is to show ourselves through action that we are stronger than we think. Self-doubt also thrives in isolation. When we keep our fears and insecurities to ourselves, they grow bigger in our minds. But when we talk to someone we trust, we realize we are not alone. Everyone has doubts, fears, and moments of uncertainty. Surrounding ourselves with supportive, uplifting people can make a huge difference. Having mentors, friends, or role models who believe in us can help us see our own potential. Sometimes we need to borrow confidence from others until we can fully believe in ourselves. One of the best ways to overcome self-doubt is to focus on our strengths rather than our weaknesses. Often we get so caught up in what we lack that we forget about what we already have. We may not be perfect, but we have unique talents, skills, and qualities that make us special. Instead of dwelling on what we cannot do, we should focus on what we can do. Instead of worrying about what we do not have, we should maximize what we do have. Every person has something valuable to offer, and the sooner we recognize our own strengths, the sooner we can step into our power. Another important lesson in overcoming self-doubt is learning to trust ourselves. Many people doubt themselves because they seek external validation. They wait for others to approve of their ideas, their dreams, their choices. But true confidence comes from within. We must learn to trust our instincts, our abilities, and our decisions. No one knows our journey better than we do. No one understands our dreams better than we do. The more we trust ourselves, the less we will need approval from others. Gratitude is another powerful tool in overcoming self-doubt. When we focus on what we lack, we feel insecure. But when we focus on what we have already achieved, we feel empowered. Taking time to appreciate our progress, our growth, and our journey can shift our mindset from doubt to confidence. Every small step forward is an achievement. Every challenge we have overcome is proof of our strength. By practicing gratitude, we remind ourselves of how far we have come and how capable we truly are. One of the biggest lessons in overcoming self-doubt is understanding that it is a choice. We can choose to believe in ourselves, or we can choose to let doubt control us. Every day, we have the opportunity to decide how we see ourselves. We can either listen to the voice that tells us we are not enough, or we can choose to rise above it. Confidence is not about never feeling doubt. It is about not letting doubt stop us. It is about moving forward even when we feel afraid. It is about trusting that we are capable, worthy, and strong enough to handle whatever comes our way. At the end of the day, self-doubt is just a thought. It is not a fact. It has no real power unless we give it power. We must remind ourselves that we are stronger than our fears, smarter than our insecurities, and more capable than we believe. The next time self-doubt tries to hold us back, we must make the choice to rise above it. We must take action, believe in ourselves, and keep moving forward no matter what. Because the only thing standing between us and our dreams is the belief that we can achieve them. And the moment we truly believe in ourselves, nothing will be impossible. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that can either push us forward or hold us back. It is a natural response to uncertainty, failure, or the unknown. However, the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not the absence of fear, but the ability to confront it, understand it, and ultimately rise above it. Fear can either be our greatest enemy or our greatest teacher, depending on how we choose to deal with it. Most of the time, fear is not based on reality, but on the negative stories we tell ourselves. We fear what might happen, what could go wrong, and what others might think. But the truth is, most of these fears never actually come true. They exist only in our minds, limiting our potential and stopping us from taking the risks necessary for growth. One of the biggest fears people struggle with is the fear of failure. We are conditioned from a young age to believe that failure is something to be ashamed of, something that defines our worth. But the reality is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone towards success. Every great person who has ever achieved anything remarkable has failed multiple times. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Walt Disney was told he lacked creativity before building his empire. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. The difference between them and others was that they did not let failure define them. They understood that failure is simply feedback, a lesson that shows us what does not work so we can find what does. Instead of fearing failure, we must embrace it, learn from it, and use it as fuel to keep going. Another common fear that holds people back is the fear of judgment. We worry about what others will think of us, whether they will criticize us, laugh at us, or reject us. But the truth is, no matter what we do, there will always be people who have something negative to say. If we spend our lives trying to please everyone, we will never truly live for ourselves. The opinions of others do not define us unless we allow them to. Instead of worrying about what people think, we must focus on what truly matters: our dreams, our goals, and our own happiness. The most successful people in the world are those who stopped seeking approval and started following their own path. Fear also manifests as self-doubt, that inner voice that tells us we are not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. This voice is often the result of past experiences, criticism, or negative beliefs we have internalized. But just because we have these thoughts does not mean they are true. Our minds are powerful, and the more we repeat a thought, the more we start to believe it. That is why it is crucial to replace fear-driven thoughts with empowering ones. Instead of saying, "What if I fail?" we should ask, "What if I succeed?" Instead of saying, "I am not ready," we should affirm, "I am constantly growing and learning." The way we talk to ourselves matters. Our words shape our reality. And if we want to overcome fear, we must start by changing our inner dialogue. One of the best ways to conquer fear is through action. Many people believe they need to feel fearless before they take action, but in reality, courage comes from taking action despite fear. The more we face our fears, the less power they have over us. The first time we step out of our comfort zone, it feels terrifying. But the more we do it, the more confident we become. Every challenge we face strengthens us, and every obstacle we overcome proves that we are capable of handling even more. Fear loses its grip on us when we refuse to let it stop us. Another powerful way to rise above fear is to shift our perspective. Instead of seeing fear as something negative, we can see it as an opportunity for growth. Fear often signals that we are stepping into something new, something that has the potential to change our lives. It is a sign that we are pushing past our limits and expanding our potential. When we embrace fear as a necessary part of growth, it no longer feels like an enemy, it becomes a guide. The most fulfilling experiences in life often come from doing the things that scare us the most. One of the greatest lessons about fear is that it is temporary. The things we fear today may not even matter a year from now. Think back to a time when you were afraid of something. Maybe it was speaking in public, starting a new job, or making a big decision. At the time, it felt overwhelming. But looking back, you realize that you survived, you grew, and you became stronger because of it. Fear only has power when we allow it to paralyze us. But when we move forward despite it, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than our fears. It is also important to understand that fear is often a product of our past. Many of the fears we carry today are rooted in past experiences, past failures, and past rejections. But just because something happened before does not mean it will happen again. We are not the same person we were back then. We have grown, we have learned, and we are capable of handling new challenges. Instead of allowing past fears to dictate our future, we must remind ourselves that every day is a new opportunity to rewrite our story. Another way to overcome fear is by surrounding ourselves with the right people. Fear grows in isolation, but when we have a strong support system, it becomes easier to face challenges. The people we spend time with influence our mindset. If we are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, and fear, we will absorb those energies. But if we surround ourselves with people who encourage us, uplift us, and believe in us, we will find the strength to overcome any fear. Having mentors, friends, or role models who have conquered their own fears can serve as a powerful reminder that we too can rise above ours. One of the most important things to remember about fear is that it is an illusion. It exists only in our minds, and the moment we decide to stop giving it power, it loses its grip on us. Fear is not real, it is just a feeling, a thought, a temporary state. We have the ability to rewrite the retell ourselves, to shift our focus from fear to possibility. Instead of thinking about what could go wrong, we must start thinking about what could go right. Instead of fearing failure, we must embrace the lessons it brings. Instead of fearing judgment, we must focus on living authentically. At the end of the day, Fear is just a test. It challenges us to see how badly we want something, how committed we are to our dreams, and how willing we are to grow. Every time we choose courage over fear, we become stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. The biggest breakthroughs in life happen when we push past the barriers of fear and step into the unknown with faith. The life we dream of is waiting for us on the other side of fear. All we have to do is take the first step. Pain is an inevitable part of life. At some point, every one of us will experience loss, disappointment, heartbreak, or failure. It is a universal truth that no one is exempt from suffering. However, what differentiates people is how they choose to respond to pain. Some allow it to define them, to break them, to consume them to the point where they no longer recognize themselves. Others choose to transform their pain into strength, to use it as fuel to rise above their circumstances, and to emerge from their struggle stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Pain is not meant to destroy us. It is meant to teach us, to shape us, and to prepare us for something greater. It is a teacher, a guide, and a force that can either paralyze us or push us forward. The choice is always ours. Most people fear pain because they associate it with suffering. But suffering does not come from pain itself. It comes from resisting it. The more we try to avoid pain, suppress it, or run from it, the more it controls us. When we refuse to face it, it festers inside us, turning into anger, bitterness, or fear. But when we choose to face it head on, when we allow ourselves to feel it, process it, and understand it, we gain power over it. Pain only has power over us when we refuse to acknowledge it. But the moment we decide to confront it, we begin the journey of transformation. One of the most powerful things about pain is that it forces us to grow. No one grows in comfort. Growth happens in the moments when we are pushed beyond our limits, when we are tested, when we are forced to dig deep and find strength we never knew we had. Some of the most incredible people in the world, leaders, innovators, artists, and visionaries, have endured unimaginable pain. They have faced rejection, loss, and failure, yet they have used their pain to create something meaningful. Instead of allowing it to break them, they turned it into their greatest asset. Pain teaches us lessons that no success ever can. When everything is going well, we rarely take the time to reflect, to appreciate, or to grow. But when we experience hardship, we are forced to reassess our priorities, to question our beliefs, and to find new perspectives. Pain teaches us resilience. It teaches us that we can survive even the darkest moments, that we can rebuild even after everything falls apart, and that we are far stronger than we ever imagined. It teaches us empathy, making us more understanding and compassionate toward others who are also struggling. It teaches us gratitude because once we have faced the worst, we learn to appreciate even the smallest moments of joy. One of the biggest mistakes people make when dealing with pain is believing that it will last forever. In the midst of suffering, it feels like the darkness will never lift, like the weight will never be lifted from our hearts. But nothing in life is permanent, not joy, not sorrow, not success, not failure. Everything changes, and pain is no exception. It may take time, but every sea heals, every storm passes, and every night eventually gives way to morning. When we are in pain, we must remind ourselves that it is just a chapter, not the whole story. We must trust that we are being prepared for something greater, even if we do not yet understand it. Another powerful truth about pain is that it reveals our true strength. Often we do not realize how strong we are until we are forced to be. We think we cannot survive without certain people, without certain dreams, without certain comforts until we do. We think we cannot endure heartbreak, failure, or loss until we do. Pain strips away our illusions and shows us who we really are. It reveals the strength, courage, and resilience that are always within us, waiting to be discovered. Every challenge we overcome adds another layer of strength to our character, making us unshakable in the face of future hardships. Many people allow pain to define them. They carry it with them like a burden, allowing it to shape their identity. But pain is not who we are, it is something we experience. We are not our wounds, our scars, or our struggles. We are not defined by what has happened to us, but by how we choose to respond. We always have the power to rewrite our story, to choose how our pain shapes us. We can let it make us bitter, or we can let it make us better. We can let it close our hearts, or we can let it teach us how to love more deeply. One of the most powerful ways to transform pain is to find meaning in it. When we turn our pain into purpose, it no longer feels like suffering, it becomes a mission. Many of the greatest movements in history were born out of pain. People who experienced injustice fought for change. People who endured hardship became advocates for others facing similar struggles. People who lost everything used their stories to inspire and uplift others. When we use our pain to help others, it no longer feels like a burden, it becomes a gift. Healing from pain does not mean forgetting what happened. It does not mean pretending it did not hurt or that it did not matter. Healing means choosing to move forward despite the pain. It means refusing to let it define us, refusing to let it control us. It means accepting that the past cannot be changed, but the future is still in our hands. Healing is a choice. It is a decision to let go of the things that no longer serve us and to open ourselves up to new possibilities. One of the most important things to remember about pain is that it does not make us weak, it makes us human. We live in a world that often glorifies strength and resilience while dismissing vulnerability. But true strength is not about pretending to be unbreakable. It is about having the courage to face our emotions, to acknowledge our struggles, and to keep going even when it feels impossible. True strength is in the ability to feel pain and still choose to rise. Pain will always be a part of life, but suffering is optional. We can choose to see pain as an enemy, or we can choose to see it as a teacher. We can allow it to break us, or we can allow it to build us. The choice is always ours. The most powerful people in the world are not those who have never suffered, but those who have suffered and still chosen to stand tall. They are the ones who have faced darkness and still chosen to shine. At the end of the day, pain is not the end of our story. It is just a chapter, a moment, a lesson. What matters is what we do with it. Will we allow it to define us, or will we use it to transform ourselves? Will we let it close our hearts, or will we let it open our eyes? Will we carry it as a burden, or will we turn it into our greatest strength? The answers to these questions determine the kind of life we create. And when we choose to rise above our pain, when we choose to use it as fuel for growth, we become unstoppable. Nothing can break a person who has learned to turn their pain into power. Ladies and gentlemen, life is not about living without pain, fear, or failure. It is about learning how to rise above them. Every struggle, every setback, and every heartbreak carries a lesson that shapes us into the person we are meant to be. Weak feelings, fear, self-doubt, pain, and insecurity are nothing more than temporary obstacles that test our strength. They do not define us unless we allow them to. The power to overcome them lies within us, in the choices we make, in the mindset we adopt, and in the resilience we build. We must remember that failure is not the end, it is a stepping stone towards success. Fear is not a prison unless we choose to remain trapped within it. Pain is not meant to break us, it is meant to build us. The struggles we face are not meant to stop us, but to prepare us for something greater. True strength is not about avoiding hardship, it is about standing tall in the face of it. It is about refusing to let challenges define us and instead using them to transform into the best version of ourselves. So today I urge you, kill your weak feelings. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not let failure define you. Do not let pain paralyze you. Rise above your doubts. Embrace your struggles and step into your power. Because the strongest people are not those who have never fallen, but those who have fallen and still found the courage to rise again. You are stronger than you think, braver than you believe, and more capable than you can imagine. The life you dream of is waiting for you on the other side of your fears.